team. My name is Lindsay Mercer, and I want to talk to you about how to make your presentations shorter and more effective. If you are finding that you are struggling to get bookings at your parties, the very first place that you want to look is right here. You need to look at your overall evening. What kind of experience are your guests having? How long are you talking? How many products are you talking about? Essentially, you want to create an atmosphere and a presentation that people are going to want to repeat. They're going to be willing to sit through it again, and they're going to feel comfortable inviting their family and friends to do the same thing and to listen to you. So I want to give you a couple of ways that you can go about doing that to give yourself the best chance to get future bookings. The very first way that you can think about making a presentation shorter and more effective is to customize them. So every time that you do a presentation, it's going to be customized to the guests that are there. Now, one way that you can do this is by saying, I want everybody to think about what your biggest cleaning challenge is, or I want you to think about what do you despise cleaning, like what do you avoid, tackling, what job is it that just you try and shove off to the hubby, right? What is it that gives you the biggest challenge? Now, while they're thinking about that, you can talk about the Norwex microfiber, you can introduce the history of the product, you can even do the butter demo at that point. And then once you've gone through the basics, you can say, okay, we're going to start now by just going around the room, sharing what our biggest cleaning challenge is. Now, when you do this and the people say, well, my biggest challenge is my floors, or it's my shower, or I just can never get my glasses clean enough, you're going to be able to offer the product that's actually going to fit their need. So that way they actually have something that they feel they can buy that night that's going to really make a difference to them. And every time you do a presentation, you're going to talk about different products because everybody's going to have a different cleaning challenge, right? Maybe it's their range hood vents underneath their microwave, or their glass top stove, or their oven, or the spindles on their railing. So you're going to be able to really customize your presentation. So you can choose maybe to talk about the top 5 microfiber products, which is the EnviroCloth, window cloth, dusting mitt, mop system, and body cloths. Those are the top 5 microfiber products that Norwex has. So you can talk about that and then fill in the rest of the products that you talk about, customized to the guests that are there. The second way that you can make your presentation shorter and more effective is by doing fewer demos in the formal part of your presentation. I'm certainly not suggesting to bypass them altogether. However, if you are doing a lot of demos or you're taking people around the house, that really takes up a lot of time. People are getting up, they're sitting down, they're getting settled, they're talking to their neighbor, and that can really add the minutes onto your presentation. Ideally, you want to look at 45 to 60 minutes maximum. 60 minutes allowing for the questions and the chatty Cathy that's there and the woman that wants to share about every product that she loves, but an ideal time frame is 45 minutes. So what I do is I always do the butter demo on a mirror or a window or a little handheld mirror that you take yourself, because then you can pass that around and it's really easy for people to feel the surface and to see how clean it is. I always do the butter demo, and I'm typically able to demo the mop because I'm standing in the kitchen or in a living room that's got hardwood or laminate. And honestly, guys, that's what I demo during my presentation. But what I offer is I say the cleaning paste is excellent for glass top stoves and polishing your sinks and removing rust. The descaler is fantastic on the soap scum and the calcium and the hard water buildup. And if you're interested to see how any of those products work, I'm going to be demoing them after the formal part of the presentation, because there is so much time when you're finished talking that people are going to flip through the catalog and talk to their neighbor and get some more snacks. So there's a lot of time there that you can say, okay everybody, I'm going to go clean Linda's oven now if you want to see how the oven and grill cleaner works, or I'm going to go spray down half of her shower door if you want to see how the descaler works. And the people that are interested about that product will follow you to that area of the house. But the formal part is done and people don't feel like they've had to sit through every single demo that you've done when they may not even be interested in that product. The third thing that you can do is actually take fewer products to your show. Now, there's a couple advantages to this. I used to take every Norwex product I had. Like, I had the entire catalog laid out on the table. And I used to think that if I didn't talk about a product, I wasn't creating desire for it, right? Like, I have to tell them how awesome the drain care is or nobody's gonna buy it. But what I quickly realized is that if I have too many products laid out, I talk about too many products, and that means I talk for way too long. So what I do now is I take 15 to 20 products, and I talk about 10 to 15 products. So I usually stick to the Norwex top 10 best-selling and a few complementary products, like I talk about the descaler with the bathroom scrub mitt, the laundry detergent with the dryer balls, the ergonomic toilet brush with the blue diamond. So I couple products together so I get through more a little bit faster. But I stick to the top 10, and then I say, if you find something in the catalog that I didn't talk about tonight, there'll be lots of time for you to ask me questions. So when the person's flipping through the catalog and they see the drain care and they have a drain issue, they're going to ask me about it at that time, and I'm going to be able to tell them all the benefits about that product. Again, without taking up that extra time during the formal presentation. The second reason that fewer products works to your advantage is because if you show up and you have got that kitchen table covered in every product that Norwex sells, and you have someone sitting there thinking, yeah, you know, I might like to try the business, but good grief, like I could never afford to buy all of those products. She doesn't know that, number one, you don't have to buy all of those products, but you want to make the business look simple. When you have just got, you know, 15 to 20 products laid out, it does not look overwhelming. It does not look like all that much. And then people are going to be a little bit more inclined to think, oh, well, she's just got a sample of what the products are. Maybe this is something that I could look at. Again, just helping lower those mental hurdles and the obstacles that people sometimes have when they think about joining the business. And the very last way that you might want to consider trying to get your presentation shorter and more effective is actually by making yourself cue cards. Now, this is something that I recommend to my new consultants to structure your presentation. If you find yourself kind of going all sorts of different directions and you finish your show feeling like you weren't even really sure what you accomplished and if you even talked about everything that you wanted to, cue cards are a great way to keep yourself on track. I've got a system that I talk about that's a complete and successful Norwex show in 10 steps. It covers the introduction, the cleaning products, a self-introduction so you can share why you chose Norwex, what Norwex has meant to you and your family and your journey and being a consultant. It shares about some personal care products, the hostess program, the business opportunity, and wraps everything into one nice little package in 10 steps. So if you want to follow that layout, I welcome you to do that, and a perfect way to do that is to make cue cards. And again, if there's somebody sitting in the living room thinking, she's reading off a piece of paper, I could read off a piece of paper too, right? It makes the business look easy. So these are just a couple of ideas that you can try, you can implement into your Norwex presentations. Again, whatever feels most comfortable for you, do that. You want people to see that you are confident and you are comfortable doing what you do, because we want them to feel comfortable inviting their friends and family to listen to you as you go to teach and to educate. And even though you're going to be excited and you want to talk a lot because you love the product so much, implementing a few structures to give yourself a really set way of how you go about your presentation is not only going to keep it within that time frame and your evening hours are maximized, but it's also going to increase the chance of more bookings as well.